This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Friday, July the 16th, race number 9 at the Spa. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 3 Forbidden Apple Stakes. Some nice older turf horses going a mile on the inner. Good, solid, evenly matched field, perhaps led by the 3 Value Proposition, Mike, one of several in here trained by Chad Brown. 5-2 on David Aragona's morning line off a good trip, triple-digit buyer win.
Yeah, I mean, he's run well. He's made 2 starts so far as a 5-year-old. I think he's run pretty well in both of those, Dan. He was obviously very good last time with a good trip, but it was a fast race and he beat a good field.
Let's start with the Timeform US pace projector. Timeform US has Rinaldi and Flying Scotsman, the 1 and the 6, expected to contest the pace. Flying Scotsman just seems a little bit off form. There's a chance that Rinaldi's in control of this at about the 5/16, and this is a horse that ran pretty well on a fast pace in his seasonal debut at Aqueduct.
I agree with that, Dan. I felt like Rinaldi was a pretty dangerous horse in here. Obviously likes the Saratoga turf courses. I just think his speed makes him really dangerous in here. We'll see, what Flying Scotsman does and, how much pressure he's going to put on Rinaldi here. Because I'm with you. Rinaldi got run down in his seasonal debut back in April. But, man, he went for home pretty early in there and was on a solid pace.
It's a perfect segue to Rinaldi's last race, the Danger's Hour at Aqueduct. He ran second. He showed a fast pace that day. Delaware ran him down. You mentioned that this horse has won 3 times at Saratoga. He's fresh. He seems to run well fresh. And at 9-2 on the morning line, you can argue he's a very solid price.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all those things are true. I think he's a very interesting horse in here. And if you like him, I certainly wouldn't try to talk you off betting him in here. Again, I think in some ways it kind of comes down to what Flying Scotsman does, because I guess there's a chance that Flying Scotsman just wants to come out of there and try to make the lead.
Corelli, the number 2, has been a versatile horse throughout his career for trainer Jonathan Thomas, and Thomas has made a concerted effort in 2021 to turn this horse back in distance. He's going to continue to do so here in the Forbidden Apple. Let's watch his most recent start, the Grade 3 Monmouth, going 9 furlongs. He's in behind horses turning into the stretch. He alters course down to the inside. Now he's going to get back to the outside. All in all, a good effort with a 96 buyer speed figure, but he did get pace to run at, and that's what he needs.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I did think he ran well in here. His win 2 back, I thought was pretty good as well, where he, rallied over a couple of next out winners. Last time we picked up the replay after the trouble, Dan, right at the top of the stretch there. He got blocked a little bit, needed to get some room there, finally got it. I thought he ran okay.
Value Proposition, very lightly raced for Chad Brown, but it seems when Chad gets him right, he can run some fast races, as he did right here at Belmont on June the 6th over the Widener turf course. He was able to sit inside horses. Now he's going to get out into the clear, and once he does, it's all over but the shouting. Therapist followed him. You're going to see him in the yellow silks. He'll get out a little bit later, but Value Proposition, good trip, good win, and he has the tactical speed to get these kind of trips.
Yeah, that's what you really like about him. He's pretty handy. Now, there is, that thing about Value Proposition where when you go back and watch a lot of his races, he's not an easy horse to ride. He can be a real handful when he doesn't get the trip that he wants, and it feels like he does want to be covered up in his races as well. But, man, when he's good and when he gets the right trip, he can run a fast race. He's a really talented horse. I personally think he's the horse to beat in here.
And speaking of covered up, Therapist has been covered up pretty much in his 2 races this year. We go back to the Elusive Quality going 7 furlongs, where he was sort of in between horses most of the way, got out in the stretch, and might have felt the layoff in the lane. He just didn't kick on as he usually does. And last time he was just down inside following Value Proposition. He never really truly got himself into the clear, but he was running on at the end. You just get the feeling this horse might be running himself back into shape.
Yeah, I wonder, Dad. I mean, he certainly has plenty of races that would make him a real player in a race like this one, especially if he can pull the right trip. He was disappointing, I thought, in the Elusive Quality off the layoff, maybe if only because he'd been so good off of layoffs in the past, and it feels like 7 furlongs at Belmont is a really good distance for him. He just didn't, for whatever reason, run his best race that day. And listen, maybe it was because he didn't have his Lasix, which he won't have again on Friday. Those are things I think you want to be concerned about. I just kind of felt like, Dan, going back to that allowance race last time, I thought it was a very strange ride from Junior Alvarado. He never really tried to get this horse into the race until it was way too late. I thought he finished well.
Made You Look, the number 5, has been pretty good for a long time. He's a little bit of an underrated sort. He won the grade 2 with anticipation right here at Saratoga as a 2-year-old in 2016. He was a graded stakes winner in 2017. He was graded placed in 2018. Now, maybe he's getting just a little bit long in the tooth, but he was wired last time out by Frostmorn, a horse that can be dangerous when he gets loose on the lead. He finished ahead of Snapper Sinclair, a horse that then came back to run second in the Cigar Mile with a 96 buyer. This horse has tactical speed, but it just appears he's found a tough spot off the layoff.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He does have back class, and he does have the tactical speed to get a good trip in here. The question is, is he the same horse that he used to be? Obviously, he used to be pretty good. We'll see what he does. Hasn't won a race dance since May of 2018.
A sharp trainer, Jack Sisterson, keeps going with the 6 Flying Scotsman, despite the fact that he's been off the board in his last 3 races, all graded stakes. In the dinner party last time out, he was able to make the lead, as it's very possible he will on Friday. He was just no match for those horses. In the form he's in right now, he's tough to love.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you could just take the position that he is going to clear in here, and he's a dangerous horse on the lead. I don't think he's impossible, I guess, if he gets loose, but it just seems like he's not going to get loose in here, and then you have to wonder if he's good enough.
The 7 Delaware was a group winner in France in 2019, and he's turned it around in his last 2 starts without Lasix for Chad Brown. In the Danger's Hour, I thought he worked out a pretty good closer's trip inside out, but boy, did he really fire in the lane to run down Rinaldi that day. And last time out in the Seek again, it was just a completely different situation. There was no pace. They ran 1, 2, 3 around the track, and all things considered, he was running on at the end. He's interesting at 6-1 with Jose Ortiz aboard.
Yeah, I agree with that. Of all the Chad Brown runners in here, he's the best price, and he may also be in as good a form as either of the other 2 Chad horses in here. As you mentioned, his Danger's Hour, Rinaldi went a pretty solid pace and went early in there, but this horse really fired a big shot through the stretch in there. Obviously, a career best performance for him. And I'm with you. He ran fine last time, considering the pace in front of him.
Nice to see Jimmy Ferraro have a nice horse. And the 8 Sanctuary Cities won 3 in a row before the grade 3 Poker last time out. That was a race in which he got a very good pace. He came with a run. He passed some tired horses. I wonder if he was sort of sucked along, though, because of the pace, that career best 97 buyer. He's got to prove it against these kind of horses.
Yeah, it's another tough spot for him. You're 100% right, though. He's in the best form of his career. He's a little bit underrated still. He's going to be a great price in this race. And if you like him and feel like the 1 and the 6, maybe hook it up and set this thing up, he'll be running at the end.
Sacred Life, the number 9, usually takes a lot of money. He's the 3-1 second choice on David's morning line. He was 3rd in the Maker's Mark Mile in his first start of the year. All in all, a solid performance with a big figure. Last time out in the dinner party, I'm not sure he got the pace he needs to set him up when beaten by a sharp horse, Some Height Like It Hot Brown, who came back to run second with a 99 buyer in a graded race at Churchill. I'm not this horse's biggest fan, especially at a short price, and I wonder if a mile's a little sharp for him.
Yeah, we kind of look at him the same way. I'm not a big fan of his either. It's just hard. He's run fine in several pretty tough races since he arrived here. It's just hard to make excuses for him, Dan. It feels like he's underachieved a little bit, and he's not going to be some kind of price that you can't resist in here. So I would just rather have some other horses.
Let's watch the 10 Logical Myths last start. This is in Pimlico, the Prince George's County, going 1 1/8. He makes a clear lead at about the 3/16 pole, and it looks like he's on his way. Pixelate's a pretty good horse, though, and Pixelate's going to run him down in the final 16th of a mile. A good effort for Logical Myth, who chased a pretty solid pace and was still standing at the end. And this is a horse that's been through the wars in 2020, 2021, kept good company at the fairgrounds through the winter, seems to have retained his form.
Yeah, and, even though he has an outside post, he's another horse who's very tactical. He can get a good trip in this race, even though he's drawn outside. Those 2 wins at the fairgrounds over the winter, he parlayed perfect trips into stakes wins in both of those starts. So maybe he falls into another good one, and he is going to be another good price in here.
Top pick time for our Friday race of the day, the grade 3 Forbidden Apple at Saratoga. We're both going to try to take a chance with Therapist, who makes his 3rd start of the year for Christophe Clement. I kind of agreed with you last time. He was just down inside. I really didn't think maybe he got his best opportunity until too late in the game. And I just think maybe he's been prepping to get to Saratoga this year for Clement.
Yeah, that could certainly be true. I just feel like he probably ran an underrated race last time. And when you start going through this field, Dan, it just feels like he almost has to be a square price in this race. So I'm going to try him.
We're both going 4-3 in here. I'm a little concerned I didn't use Delaware, the 7. I should have probably upgraded him a bit after our discussion. 4-3-1-2 for Mike, 4-3-5-2 for me. It's the grade 3 Forbidden Apple. It's the feature race at the Spa on Friday. It's the DRF race of the day. Good luck.